Hey guys, Dave here. I've had some good rice dishes, but I'll tell you, this Mexican rice is one of the best I've ever had. The texture is incredible, it's beautifully seasoned, and absolutely delicious. Serve this up with any protein or the side dish of your choice, and you will not be disappointed. So let me show you how to do this. So let's begin making our sauce by throwing half a medium chopped onion into a blender, followed by 3 cloves of garlic. I just have to have my garlic. A couple of ripe tomatoes that I've coarsely chopped up, and if they're in season, that's even gooder. Once again into the blender, and about 1 3/4 cups of chicken stock. Now you can use beef or vegetable too if you like. And if you don't want to use any of those, simply add water. Of course, slip the top on. Then we'll just pulse this up for a few seconds, and some of you might be asking, where did you get that blender? I just love it, but for the life of me, I can't remember. If I do, I'll put a link below. And this is about what you want right here. I know it's not that red, but stay tuned because that will come later. Okay, next up I'm gonna wash some long grain rice. Give it a good rinse to get any of that water and starch out. And I should mention too that you can use basmati, jasmine, whatever rice you have on hand. Now it is time to throw a tablespoon or 2 of oil into a pan over medium heat. And one test method I always use is throw a few grains of rice in, and if they bubble and sizzle, you know the pan is hot enough. Next, in with our rice. And we are just gently, and I say gently because we don't want to break up those grains of rice, stir and fry this until it toasts into a beautiful golden brown. And this might take a few minutes because what you're going to find, if there's a lot of water in that rice, it's going to begin to bubble up and the water is going to begin to boil off, and then that rice will turn into a beautiful golden brown, which if you look now you can see it. Isn't that exciting? Well, not really, but it's working. So after a few minutes, that rice is browning beautifully and that water is beginning to get off of there. And so now it's time to continue on our merry way by adding in 2 or 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And remember I talked about that redness before? Well, this tomato paste is going to make it really red and so rich. And besides that, I just love tomato paste. Then about a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and that just adds to that redness and gives it that beautiful smoky taste. About half a teaspoon of cumin, another half teaspoon or teaspoon of chili powder. Totally optional, but it adds great flavor to the dish. Half a teaspoon of oregano or oregano. And of course, you guessed it, some salt to bring out those flavors, and I'd say about a teaspoon. And about the same amount of ground black pepper, and of course you've got to have ground black pepper. Once again, grab up our trusty spatula and mix everything together. And guys, I just had to get this shot. Isn't everything coming together so beautifully? And look at that redness. Wow, I just love it. And the whole kitchen smells like a Mexican fiesta. Excelente, amigo. And now I think you've guessed it, guys. It is time to grab up that sauce that we set aside and pour it over our rice. Of course, grab up our spatula and give everything a good stir. And just look at that redness coming through. Now we're starting to come along. Now we are going to throw in a whole jalapeno. Don't slice it, don't dice it, don't touch it. Just throw it in whole and you will see what it's like after we're finished cooking. Then we're going to place a lid on this and let it simmer away for about 20 or 30 minutes. After 20 or 30 minutes, after medium-low heat, just look at these guys. Doesn't this look incredible? Alrighty then, just go ahead and reduce that heat to low. Take out that jalapeno, which is all soft and mushy now, and those flavors have gone into the rice. Go ahead and give it a stir and fluff. I know it still looks a little mushy, but we are going to solve that problem by partially covering it and let it simmer away for about another 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes, guys, I'd say this is looking pretty good. Wow, just about done, or I would say is done to perfection. So let's go ahead and sprinkle some cilantro over the top because you just have to have cilantro with Mexican rice. A couple of lime wedges and wowzers, just look at this. Then that jalapeno back into the mix. I bet you thought we threw this out. No way. Now it is time to sit back and admire our Mexican rice. Yes, we're going to chow down, but I just want to admire it for a few minutes. Doesn't this look so good? Oh. After our period of admiration and you dig in, guys, this is absolutely spectacular. It's a flavor like none other. It's really hard to describe. Just bursting with flavor. The seasoning, the tomato paste, the richness of it all. Serve it up with some beautiful, beautiful menudo that I have a recipe for that I'll put a link below. And you simply must make this Mexican rice. Great for any occasion. And as I always say, if you're hungry for more, subscribe.